Aloha and welcome back to GryphonSoul Diecast Motorsports, home of the new Obsidian Mountain Raceway, and I want to welcome you to the Totem Warz. This is the first event to be held on the new OMR. It's longer, steeper, and faster, and if you haven't seen the updates on the rebuild, you need to go back and watch those 3 videos. Now let me introduce you to the Totem Warz. In many cultures around the world, totems are used to commemorate ancestors, luck, misfortune, communicate warnings, and make note of notable events. On the island, it is to commemorate the drivers that hold the top 10 positions on the Obsidian Mountain Raceway. And since we rebuilt the OMR, we need to reassess and properly align the totem drivers accordingly. Now each driver will get 2 runs down the new OMR, and the top 10 fastest will be placed on the totem accordingly. The driver with the fastest time will be our chief of the totem drivers, and the 6 drivers not making the totem will be the guardians. And you can think of the guardians as gatekeepers. You have to get past one of them before you can even challenge the totem. The Obsidian Mountain Totem Warz is a mail-in event and open to modified and unmodified cars. I'll be going over more of that later at the end of the broadcast. But first, we have to reset the current drivers so you have someone to challenge. And here's how we're going to do that. There are 16 drivers. All of these drivers got their start racing right here at the Obsidian Mountain Raceway, and they are some of the fastest drivers to take on the OMR. We're going to get the car and driver info before each driver takes their run down the mountain. So let's get started and kick it off with the guardians that are hoping to make the totem. First at the gate is driver Kiko Leilani of the Dragon Coast Racers. She's driving Jaded, a McLaren F1 weighing 33 grams, and she held the previous OMR time of 5.54 seconds. There she goes down the new OMR in her first run around Crater Corner on the outside. Takes the high line going through Calamity Corner. Down the Dragon Spine, Leaky Highway, through the Cavern Turn, and across the finish in a really nice time. Kiko's the youngest of all the drivers here today, and she grew up in a racing family. Her father, Molokai, started and ended his racing career right here on the OMR. Kiko took over where her dad left off, and she is every bit of a skilled professional her dad raised her to be. And run 2 from the inside, around Crater Corner and down the pipeline into Calamity Corner. And we'll get a little up on the curb there a couple times. Through the smack the fence. Save the spectators. Next at the gate, we got Angelo Toma, a GDM Racing Team driver, and he's driving Sunspot, a 94 Bugatti EB110 SS, weighing 38.3 grams, and he held a previous OMR time of 5.54 seconds. Down on his first run, Angelo around the Crater Corner and down the pipeline in the Calamity Corner. Looking good. Spun out over the Dragon Spine, going down backwards. It's not going to be a good time. Got loose there at the end in an 825. Angelo joined the GDM family about 3 years ago with a Formula Grand Prix background. He traded in his Formula for a Bugatti in hopes of making the totem. He's got to do better than an 825. He's on the inside track. Going into Calamity Corner, takes it high, gets up on the curb, and spins out, coming down Leaky Drive. 825 is going to be his best time. Another GDM Racing Team driver is at the gate. DeJin is driving Harbinger, a C6 Corvette weighing 34.7 grams, which held the previous OMR time of 5.50 seconds. And around Crater Corner and down the pipeline from the outside lane, takes it high. Got up on the curb and rolls that Corvette right on the roof. At the Temple Turn. Get somebody down there and check her out, see if she can make that second run. Now, very little is known about DeJin's past. She prefers to let her driving do the talking, and it sure has a lot to say for the type of driver she is. And I don't mean that in a bad way. Alright, let's hope she can make it down this time from the inside around Crater Corner and down the pipeline in the Calamity Corner. And that same curve catches her, spins her front end out. She's still going down. Oh, hits the fence and flips it. Second away from end. Set at the gate now is driver Simon Blaine driving Shuriken, a GDM custom modified Subaru WRX STI, weighing 55.6 grams and held a previous OMR time of 5.64 seconds. Here he goes on his first run from the outside around Crater Corner and down the pipeline into the new Calamity Corner and down to Dragon Spine. He's backwards now, going down Leaky Road and down the final straight. And a 708 for going backwards ain't bad. Now, Simon has been approached by GDM and other teams, but is not committed to joining any of them yet. One can say Simon is the hot commodity around the raceway, the free agent of racing everyone wants on their team. I might have to put a few more coconuts in the pot to see if I can get this guy on the GDM team. Looking good through the Dragon Spine down Leaky Road, keeping it straight, keeping it forward. And a 6.86, the first sub 7 second time. Nicely done. And now ready to make her run, this is driver Suki Kyoto of Team Kona Road Kings, driving Treadpool, a Nissan Skyline GTR R32, weighing 53.9 grams, and held a previous OMR time of 5.60 seconds. She's off on her first run from the outside around Crater Corner into the pipeline before Calamity Corners, and whoa, got a little loose there over the Dragon Spine. Slip, or I don't know if that was a slip or a drift, but oh, she just smacked the sidewall. She got a 7.69. Suki Kyoto came to the OMR via Tokyo. Her career started as a stunt driver for hire, and she commanded a large fee for her work. That's just how damn good she is. She came to race on the OMR a few years ago and made a statement from her first race. Let's see if she can keep the stunts out of this one as she goes around Crater Corner and down the pipeline, gaining speed down the Dragon Spine. Got a little loose, but keeping it straight through the cavern turn and down the final straight. Got a 704. Not too shabby. Next up at the gate is driver Jai Ito from GDM Racing, and he's driving the Bronze Tiger, a Ferrari 308, weighing 54.8 grams, and he held a previous OMR time of 5.47 seconds. And he's off on his first run around Crater Corner and into the pipeline. Goes high up through Calamity Corner, stays high through the Temple Turn and into the Cavern Turn. Wow, a 6.66. I don't like the number, but it is sub-second. On the OMR, not literally, but he is here racing so much, it's like he never goes home, and he's rarely seen out of his car. His response time and reflexes in that car is like a cat, and he has recorded the least amount of crashes on the OMR than any other driver since its inception. Can he get another sub-7 second time? Around Crater Corner and down the pipeline. High in the Calamity Corners. Got a little up on the curb there. Oh, whoa. Well, he's not going to beat that time. We'll have to keep that one, and the emergency services will definitely be checking him out. And the last of our Guardians trying out to make the totem is Morgan X, otherwise known as Morgan Stark. She's from the Reggae Road Racers team, and she's driving Ravager, a Nissan Silvia S15 weighing 60 grams and held a previous OMR time of 5.77 seconds. There she goes on her first run around Crater Corner and down the pipeline. Gets high in the Calamity Corner. Whoa! Almost did a face off the edge of the curve there. Got a 7.14 second time. Now, Morgan is the sister of another driver here at the OMR, T.A. Stark, and she's been racing the OMR for nearly 6 years now alongside her brother. She can put you in your place on the racetrack, or she can put you on your assets if you get out of line. She is what some might refer to as a living Spitfire. And she's showing it in that first run. Let's see if she can do better in the second run. In the Calamity Corner. Keeping it low. Whoa, got high up on that last turn again. Might be a little too much weight up front. She got a 7.10 that time. A little bit better. Sure have to control that front end. She wants to get faster. Now it's the current Totem driver's turn to take on the new OMR. And we're going to start it out with the 10th place driver, Marcus Wells, from the GDM racing team. He'll be driving Serpentor, a Dodge Viper SRT-10 ACR, weighing 51.8 grams and held a previous OMR time of 5.44 seconds. There he goes on the first run around Crater Corner, taking it high into... Oh, no, he went high in that second turn in Calamity Corner. Gets a little loose coming down Leaky Road. And a 7.51 time. Marcus has been a part of the GDM family since day one. A confident and skilled driver, the team nicknamed him Pilot because he makes cars look like they're flying on the raceway. It's phenomenal. Making finals several times over the past few years here at the OMR, a podium finish has still eluded him. His second run, can he do better than that 7.51? In the Calamity Corner, looking good. Oh, got a little loose there over the Dragon Spine, down Leaky Road and through the Cavern Turn, down the final straight, and he does better that time by 20 thousandths of a second. Nice job. Our next driver is Lucian Stone from Team Reggae Road Racers. He's driving Night Rhythm, a Ferrari 355, weighing 48.7 grams. His previous OMR time was 5.44 seconds. Here he goes down that first divided straight around Crater Corner. In the Calamity Corner. Whoa, spins out in that second turn, going down the Leaky Road backwards now. Gets a little loose again. Tries to correct it, gets a 6.97. Lucian Stone is owner of his team, which came to the OMR a couple years ago, and he has competed in several events and tournaments here, still looking for his first checkered flag. Many say this could be his year. With that first time of 6.97, with all that swerving, he might just be able to prove on that a little bit. Well, he got backwards again. He must like it that way. Gets a little loose there on Leaky Road. Nope, he's slowing down. He's not going to beat that first time. 8:04 for his second run. Up next, we have Mallory Sloan, another GDM racing team driver. She'll be driving Icebreaker, a Jaguar XJ220, weighing 39.2 grams. She held the previous OMR time of 5.41 seconds. Here she goes for her first run around Crater Corner and down the pipeline. Takes it high through Calamity Corner. Oh, gives up on that last curb on the lower section. Makes it through the... Oh! I was just about to say makes it through the Cavern Turn. And Mallory came to the island from Southern Cal, and her racing career began at age 20 when she began competing in the North Continental Drift Circuit. And out of the 300 events she entered, she never placed lower than third, and even took a few trophies home. She's going to have to do better than that first lap if she wants to make it into the Totem's den. Oh, and that is not going to do it. No siree, sorry. Waiting at the gate, we have driver Devlin Hawks. Yes, another GDM race team driver. And he's driving Wheeljack, a Solar CX4 weighing 40.8 grams, which held a previous track record of 5.38 seconds. On his first run on the outside of the crater corner, going into the going into Calamity corner, looking good. Got a little bit of back tire up on that lower curve, but he's still keeping a nice line. And across the line in the 6.89. I think that's like the third sub 7 seconds. Devlin Hawks, all the way from the UK, has raced just about every vehicle with 2 or more wheels. At age 14, he was competing in his first race. He got into kart racing for a few years before moving on to the pro circuit to race Minis, Jaguars, and McLarens, among others, before coming to the island to test his skills on the OMR. And on the inside this time, let's see if he can improve on that 6.89, I think it was. Oh, got a little high and loose up there at the end of Calamity corners. And spins on the final straight. And no, he's going to keep that first time. Sub 7, can't complain. Up now at the gate, we have Emmy Chambers. She's a former GDM driver, now co-owner and driver for the Dragon Coast Racers. She's driving Sunstreaker, a Dodge Viper RT10, weighing 34.1 grams, and she held a previous track record of 5.31 seconds. And Emmy's down on her first run around Crater Corner. In the Calamity corner. Looking good. Oh, got backwards. A lot of drivers seem to be doing that. Getting loose in the back and spinning around. She's almost coasting now. Yep, she's lost power. She stalled it out in that spin. Emmy should get an Emmy for her amazing performances on the raceway. I guess the 7 trophies she's taken home over the past 5 years just gonna have to do. Now, she grew up at the OMR and raced a long course to get where she is today. And now she's one of the top drivers and a co-owner of one of the top teams here at the OMR. And on her second run from the inside around Crater Corner, she's heading into Calamity corners now. And wipes out, exiting Calamity corners. That is sad. So sad. Ready at the gate, Jackson Poe representing Team Kona Road Kings, and he's driving Impulse, a 2019 Ford Mustang Coupe. This is the only MBX competing in the Totem Challenge today. Weighing 36.1 grams, he held the previous track time of 5.38 seconds. And he's off on his first run. Around Crater Corner and down the pipeline in the Calamity corners. Can he hold it together? No! No, just like Emmy right before him. He loses it, slides into a temple turn. He said to call him Poe, and so we do. Poe is a 12-year veteran of racing. He's done it all and seen it all. One of the most talented drivers to race the OMR, and the youngest of 4 boys who are all racing in something somewhere to this day. He needs to make it down to the finish line on this run if he wants any chance at making it, or staying on the Totem, I should say. He's looking good so far. Gets a little loose coming down Leaky Road. He does cross the finish line in 7.38 seconds. There you go. That'll do her. At the ready and waiting is driver Boxer Trudeau from the Black Sands Rockers team, driving Mirage, a Renault Sport RS weighing 45.4 grams and held a previous track time of 5.31 seconds. I like Boxer. I've always been a fan of Boxer, and he's taking that Renault really nicely through Calamity Corner, around the temple turn. Whoa, and skids out. He was looking good, but lost all the power coming down Leaky Road. Boxer comes from the land down under, but don't worry. We don't allow Vegemite to be imported to the island, so you're safe. Even without the Vegemite, he brings the might to the raceway. Do not get in this guy's way. He will go past you or under you like a juggernaut. Skilled and fearless, Boxer has captured several podium finishes in his career, and he is not done yet. He comes from the land down under as he goes around the crater corner. In the Calamity corners, holding it together. Got a little low there. Around the temple turn and down Leaky Road through the cavern turn and the final straight, and the time, 7.13 seconds. Very nice. That should get him there. Maybe. We'll see in the end. Repulsor Jets to maximum. This is T.A. Stark, a GDM team racer, driving Pele's Chariot, a 2017 Audi RS6 Avant, weighing 51.2 grams and held a previous track time of 5.23 seconds. TA's down that first straight on the outside, going into the pipeline, takes it high through Calamity Corner, and hits that bottom curb and flips it, taking a roof slide all the way to the temple turn. T.A. Stark has made a name for himself both on the track and in the garage, starting his career out as a pit crew member for GDM. He knows his cars and he knows how to make them go fast. Going fast is one thing, being able to handle these corners is another, and he's not going to do it today. Wow. And you're out of here. And the last of our totem drivers, but far from the least, this is Priestess, our #1 GDM driver, and she's driving the Wraith, a GDM modified Porsche 935, weighing 63.3 grams, and held a previous track time of 4.93 seconds. Now, earlier I had said she was a GDM driver. She's actually a driver for Spectre Racing, which is a subsidiary of the GDM racing team, but it is a team of its own, and that was not good. She spun out up there on the Dragon's Spine, ended up backing over the line. She is scary, brilliant in so many ways on and off the track, and she's won or placed in the top 3 of every competition she has raced in. She holds fastest time recorded on the previous OMR, and her preferred weapon of choice is her black Porsche 935. All right, let's see if she can do any better on her second run. Taking the inside line and going high through Calamity Corner. Spins around backwards again, but she keeps the momentum going. Down the final straight, got a little swervy, but gives a sub 7 second time going backwards. I told you this girl is something. Okay, well, I have a bonus run for you. Now, this car didn't qualify due to the weight restrictions of the Totem Warz event, and it's one of GDM's more recent custom mods. I ran it out of curiosity, and it outdid all my expectations. Driver Felix Corda is going to take this vehicle down. He is a Black Sands Rockers team driver, and he'll be driving Precision, a GDM modified Jaguar I-Pace, weighing 65.5 grams. He held a previous track time of 5.41 seconds. And there he goes, round Crater Corner and into the pipeline. Takes a high line through Calamity Corners. Nice. I was impressed so much I couldn't say nothing. Wow. Wow, he was up on 2 wheels there for a second or two. Right there. Giving the spectators a good show. Look at almost on his door. Recovers and gets a great time. Alright, he's on the inside now. Let's see what he can do here. 0.5 grams over the limit. Alright, here he goes. Second run. Round Crater Corner. Down the pipeline. In the Calamity Corner. Has a good line. Stays nice and high. Good line through the cavern turn. And we got a new track record right there. You're seeing it. 6.44 seconds. Wow, wow, wow. And holy snikes. That, my friends, is the new OMR track record. A time of 6.44 seconds. That's 22 thousandths of a second faster than the top totem driver's time. If this car was just a smidge lighter, Felix could be the chief of the totem drivers right now. Well, we definitely got some shaking up in that totem driver's den. I know some drivers are very upset about DNFing themselves right off of that totem list. Let's check out the times and see our new Totem drivers lineup. Looks like we got a new chief of the Totem drivers. Let's start at the bottom and work our way up. Holding the 10th position is Marcus Wells from the GDM Racing Team. He has a time of 7.31. In 9th place, we got Boxer Trudeau from the Black Sand Rockers team with a time of 7.13 seconds. In 8th, we got Morgan Stark, another GDM Racing Team driver. She put down a time of 7.10 seconds. In 7th, we got Kiko Leilani from the Dragon Coast Racers team, and she put down a time of 7.08 seconds. Next up in 6th place, we got Suki Kyoto with a time of 7.04 seconds. In 5th place, we got Lucian Stone from Reggae Road Racers with a time of 6.97 seconds. Next in line in 4th place, we got Devlin Hawks, another GDM Racing Team driver, put down a time of 6.89 seconds. Holding the line at 3rd is Simon Blaine, driving a GDM custom modified Subaru, put down a time of 6.86 seconds. And 2nd place on the totem is Priestess, formerly owning that chief spot at the top, put down a time of 6.74 seconds. And our chief of the totem drivers, number 1 driver, Jai Ito, driving the Bronze Tiger, put down a time of 6.66 seconds. That's the 2nd fastest time recorded here on the new OMR. The only car faster so far was driven by Felix Corda in that GDM modified Jaguar I-Pace. Now let's get to the part where you learn how to join and challenge the Totem drivers. As I said in the beginning of the broadcast, this is a mail-in event. Entries can submit 1 or 2 cars, modified or unmodified. That's totally up to you and depending on the casting of the car. Metal on metal, I probably wouldn't modify all that much other than, doing up the wheels and stuff like that. Anyways, challenging the Totem. There are 2 parts to the challenge. First is the qualifying race. How do you qualify? You have to compete in a head-to-head best-of-3 race versus one of the Totem Guardians and win. Only then can you move up to challenge the Totem drivers. Now, in the best-of-3, the cars will rotate lanes. The car with the fastest lane will earn the inside pole if there is a 3rd race required. And, of course, the car must keep its roof to the sun when crossing the finish line in order to get that win. If both cars DNF in a race, they will not be reset. You have a maximum of 3 chances, and that's all you get. In case of a 1-1 tie, the driver with the fastest lap time will be declared the winner. If the challenger wins, they can then challenge the Totem drivers. These are one-and-done races. Starting with the 10th place Totem driver, the challenger races their way up the Totem until they are defeated. The challenger always draws the outside lane versus the Totem drivers, and the challenger will hold the last position that they won. The first car to cross the finish line, of course, wins. If both cars fail to cross the finish line, that challenge is over. The challenger will hold the last position won. The defending driver remains in their original position, unable to continue in the challenge, and the Totem Wars will continue with the next 2 drivers in the Totem line. Totem drivers challenge for position taken on the Totem drivers directly above them. Challenges continue until the number 1 Totem driver defends their place or they are replaced by a new number 1. To enter in the Totem Wars, submit 1 or 2 modified or unmodified cars along with the driver's name, team name, and the car's nickname if you have one. These cars will not be returned but will be eligible for future challenges. Now your modification restrictions. Maximum weight limit is 65 grams, not an iota over. Dry graphite lube only can be used on your axles and wheels. No buses, no fantasy cars. I don't do animals, creatures, foods, or beverages. Custom paint and decals are allowed and encouraged, and they must have black tires only. And that's it. I will be posting the rules and entry information on the GDM Facebook page as well as the redlinederby.com website. So if you didn't catch all the information here, you can catch it there. All right, that's all I have for you tonight. I hope you enjoyed the introduction to the Totem Wars. I hope to see you in the challenges in the near future. Until the next race, thank you for watching. Thank you for all your support, and keep your roof to the sun. Mahalo.